It's time to remember that old wisdom our soldiers will never forget, that whether we are black or brown or white, we all bleed the same red blood of patriots.
In his inauguration address, President Donald J. Trump called for togetherness and unity among all citizens. But many Americans believe he stands for divisiveness and hatred. To show their opposition to the newly sworn-in president, many protested in major cities across the country, including Chicago. The day before Trump's inauguration, some Chicagoans boarded buses to Washington, D.C. to attend the protest there.
You are the ones, we're the ones, that are going to rock this country, make it ungovernable until we get some justice.
During the inauguration, teachers and students came together on DePaul's Lincoln Park campus at an event called January 20th, 2017, and the Murmur for Democracy. Participants read aloud the accounts of survivors of hatred and violence. Organizer Matthew Gerson, a professor of arts, media, and design at DePaul, says they were also protesting what they call the negative tone the new president has set.
It's a protest against the sort of volume as veracity and the negativity and divisiveness of Trump's rhetoric and the rhetoric of other haters.
Soon after Mr. Trump's inauguration speech, DePaul students affiliated with STAT, Students Together Against Trump, congregated in the sack pit of the Lincoln Park campus to show their opposition.
Thing you do in the street with tens of thousands of other people. Yeah. Politics is what we're doing right now. Yeah.
The group then marched throughout campus, including the Student Center, where they asked fellow DePaul students to march with them.
Join us! Join us! Join us! Join us!
Some demonstrators said it is critical to protest and express their concerns.
As a person that is a part of a queer community, I'm here to empower myself and the people I love and the people who are targets of this recent administration.
Hours later, protesters filled Daley Plaza in the Loop. DePaul students and STAT organizers Sam Pfeiffer and Lena Almazri were among the demonstrators.
I think if we sat at home and, didn't do anything about it, I don't think they'd realize the extent to which Trump is going to be detrimental to our society.
I mean, we're not going to stop Trump's administration in its tracks today, but I think this is a starting point for a much longer, prolonged resistance, which will continue to pull in thousands and thousands of people in cities across the country.
Protesters soon turned their attention to Chicago's ultimate symbol of the new president, Trump Tower.
All of the Inauguration Day protests have led up to this one. Hundreds have massed outside of Trump Tower to continue to cry voices of dismay over an administration that they consider to be hateful.
A variety of different protesters came together in front of Trump Tower, and almost all of them were peaceful. However, one Trump supporter claims he was attacked.
When they see a view that they don't like, they get very violent. And tonight I was actually jumped on and attacked by one of them.
And the protest did not end at Trump Tower. The following day, women of all different ages, along with men and children, came out to the Chicago Women's March to voice displeasures at President Trump and to fight for their rights. For marchers like Sarah Mazza, the event was a way to decompress after the inauguration.
I need to feel better after yesterday, and it's good to be with my friends and with like-minded people.
While others were there to get Washington's attention.
I think we need to remind our Congress people that we are watching and that it's important to make sure that they are doing what they are supposed to do.
The march grew to an estimated 250,000 people, effectively shutting down portions of downtown Chicago. At the protest, many signs proclaimed that Trump was not my president.
We refuse to accept his racist bigotry into the streets until justice is served, until he's impeached. We're not going to accept this.
But others who oppose Mr. Trump still accept that he is their president.
Of course he's our president. He's the president of the United States. Does he represent me and the things that I believe in? No, and that's why it's important to be here.
Thousands of people across the country took part in similar protests and marches during Inauguration weekend. But one question remains. Will these protests lead to any changes in Washington or in President Trump's policies? For Good Day DePaul, I'm Dan Beedie.